Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on this Monday afternoon. It is December the 9th, and I have several things to cover with you. I am going to cover three really breaking news items that came out today. Also, I'm going to go over a very good question that was covered in the live that I took part in last night. And this question is, why do you think it is important to become a prepper now in the year 2025? And I would say also for most of us, why continue to prepare in the year 2025? I'm going to cover that. All right. I gave an answer last night, but I really just focused on one little thing. And so I want to expand on that. All right. But first, also have a good passage, of course. I have a passage that I will share with you as well, so stay tuned for that. It's a good one. All right, first, several big news items, no particular order here, but the United Healthcare CEO shooter is in custody, apparently. And they nabbed this guy. They say they nabbed a suspect in this case. Now, if you don't remember, less than a week ago, the CEO of United Healthcare was gunned down and killed in New York City. And they say today that a suspect was taken into custody in Pennsylvania, actually. So this was apparently this employee of McDonald's saw this guy and reported and called the police, I guess called 911, whatever, and said that this customer looks like the picture that was released of the suspect. Because if you remember, the NYPD had released a couple of pictures, and one picture was pretty much a full facial shot of him. And this employee saw him, I guess, and said, hey, looks like him. So police came, and they say this guy. Now, I'm going to give you the information. I'm going to give you my take for then. Okay, but anyway, they say this guy fits the description. They say that in his car they found a gun. I saw another report that said that they found the gun suppressor. They found fake IDs. They found a manifesto of sorts, notes that were written about being an anti-capitalist and anti-corporate America, and on and on and on. And so I guess authorities from New York City have gone out to Pennsylvania to question him. Now, when I read this, I can't help but be skeptical, and something just tells me there's something wrong. There's much more to this story that we're not going to be told. And they say he's an ex-Ivy League student and all this kind of stuff, a smart guy and all, but I don't know. I just, something tells me that the person in those pictures that the NYPD released is not the one who committed that shooting. I don't know. I don't know. I have no proof. But that's just me. I'm just skeptical. Maybe it is him. What do you think? Let me know what you think. I just don't know about this guy. I don't know. It's convenient. It's very convenient. Also, New York City, jury finds Daniel Penny not guilty. He is a free man. He walked free today. Thank goodness. Thank the Lord. So not guilty. All 12 jurors said no to the lesser charge. Now, last week they said no on the manslaughter charge. Now they said no to any lesser charge. Free the guy. Let him go. So he's out. Thank goodness. This was obviously this judge. They were just trying to get something on him. I could say more. I could say stronger stuff. I won't say it. But this guy, I mean, a Marine veteran, just trying to protect citizens, and the evidence showed that the people on this train, on the subway train with him, were definitely in imminent risk from this guy that was threatening to harm them. And Daniel Penny stepped in and stopped it. So the jurors actually saw that, yeah, this wasn't his intention to kill this guy. He was just trying to stop him, hold him for police. And that's what he did. All right, so that was good. That is good news. Also, Syria. I don't know what to think of that. I mean, so Syria's fallen. Damascus has fallen. It looks like Syria is controlled by, depending on where in Syria you are, it's controlled by different factions or countries. It's weird. But Damascus is definitely fallen on its rear end. So we'll see what happens there. Also, Israel crossed into Syria as well. This is wild. So Israel crossed over and took Mount Hermon. Now, Mount Hermon is a strategic point. It's high. It gives them a high ground and gives them great vision to be able to spot anything coming at them from, just about every direction. So a very strategic ground to hold there. Now, see what happens. But Netanyahu said that they crossed over into this buffer zone. And the reason they did that is to control this buffer zone so they can protect Israeli communities in the Golan Heights. It does make sense. We'll see what happens here. There are Russian bases not far from there. There are United States bases. I mean, everybody's got a little piece in there. It's just weird. It's not far from Damascus either, where Israel forces are gathered. So they got tanks in there. They dropped paratroopers in there. It's wild. Also, United States and Israel has carried out airstrikes on several different areas in Syria. They say they're hitting terrorist positions and facilities, ISIS. I don't know what to believe. From my point of view, it looks like the United States both funds and attacks certain groups. I don't get it. It's hard to keep your arms around it. But Damascus is intact. It's just fallen. The Assad regime is gone now. Reports are that Assad, the former president of Syria, is actually being protected. He is in Russia, being protected by them now. So that's interesting. So we'll see what plays out there. There's a power vacuum. Usually that's not good. Usually something worse comes in. We'll see what happens here as far as in Damascus. Okay, to my question. So I was part of a live last night on Prepper Now's channel. Excellent channel. I was part of a roundtable discussion. The other participants were Modern Refugee, Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, and Roaming Prepper. So excellent discussion. Prepper Now posed some questions to us, and I thought I would use one of these questions to include in this video. So, and I may do some of his other questions. He had excellent questions. It really made me think too. One of them was, why is it important to become a prepper or continue to prepare now and into the year 2025? Well, I do believe it is very important for various reasons, really, more than one. I think it's multiple reasons. I think we are going to continue to see global instability, these conflicts. Now, hopefully Trump can come in and kind of broker some end to these wars, these conflicts. We pray that, but we don't know for sure if that's going to happen. I mean, it could stay the same. It could, heaven forbid, break out into a more widespread WW3 and affect us directly. That's one reason to keep preparing. I believe the economy is not going to bounce back really fast. If you remember, back in, going way back, when in the Jimmy Carter years, when the economy was in the tank and we had energy a crisis. We had gas lines out the economy went to crap and in a short time. And when Reagan came in, it really took some time to turn the ship around. I mean, it took almost 3 years to get it back going. So I'm concerned there. I mean, I think a lot of people, and I'm optimistic, but a lot of people are like, Trump's going to come in. The food price is going to go back to normal, back to 2017, 2018, 2019 levels. Gas is going to go back to $1.50 a gallon, and all the wars are going to end, and the border's going to close, and all the illegals that came in are going to flow back over just like that. It's not going to happen like that, folks. It's not going to happen. Hopefully, you can do something about the border, at least shut it down and get it to where there's the legal process again, to come through. There is a legal process. I would even be open to some reform in that, to where it makes it, you streamline that process, but it has to be legal. It has to be a process to go through to becoming a United States citizen. So hopefully you can do something about that. That's one thing. The economy. Again, it's going to take some time. I don't think we're going to see grocery prices aren't just going to miraculously go back to what they were a few years ago. I just don't think so. I think they're going to at best stay steady. Some things you might be able to see a drop, a little bit of a reduction in, but I really don't think we're going to see much of one in food prices. I really don't. I think it could continue to go up for a while. Hopefully it just stabilizes. It doesn't keep going up. We'll see. So there's the economy. Fuel, gas. If we can get the drilling back going and all that, and get back to kind of where we were, being pretty much energy independent, that would definitely make a big difference. Now, if we can get that down, that can ripple out to other things in the economy, bring the prices down. But I just don't. I mean, when do grocery stores, when do they're going to decide they're going to charge less? Or the suppliers to the stores, are they just going to one day say, well, Trump's in office, we're going to reduce all these things by dang 30%, 20%, half? It ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So that's another reason to keep preparing. Okay. What about these millions of people in the country who've come through against the law, especially I think millions of military-aged males? What are they doing? What are they up to? I mean, do we know where they are? I mean, there's no way we know where they're all hanging out. What's their plan? What if even a fraction of them, let's say most of them are fine and really are here for good reasons and they want to work or whatever. What if even a smaller percentage of them get together or coordinated and carry out a terrorist attack? A lot of soft targets here. Think about it, y'all. A lot of soft targets. A well-coordinated group, a well-armed, well-coordinated, trained attack could be devastating, especially if it's something similar to what Hamas carried out against Israel in those villages, y'all. So that is my big fear right there. That is my big concern. Heaven forbid it happens. I pray not. Pray I'm not wrong. I'm not right on that. But that's a concern. So that's another reason to keep preparing into 2025. Our security, our self-defense, our awareness. Crime's not going to miraculously go away either. Oh, Trump's in office, I'm going to stop stealing. I'm going to stop harassing. I'm going to stop robbing people. That's not going to just disappear overnight. So crime is still going to be a problem. It's still going up. So again, self-defense, security, another reason to keep preparing. If nothing else, if no other reason to keep preparing, it's to have a hedge against the high food prices, your fuel prices, your utilities, insurance, taxes. The list is on and on. I'm not trying to throw a wet blanket. I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic of Trump coming back in. I really am. I truly am. I think he's going to make a difference. I really do. I do believe that. It's not going to be overnight. That's the main thing I'm saying here, is the main reason to prepare into 2025. If you have a family member, you have a friend that is like, I'm not into that, stop, you're a hoarder, stop getting extra items, explain it to them in these terms, is that, hey, listen, let's just keep grabbing a couple of extra items, 1 or 2 items. We're not clearing the store shelves. This is a hedge against the high prices. They're not coming down. If we can grab a good deal now, if we can get a couple of extra things now, price goes up next month, 2 months from now, we've got a little extra. Something happens, I get laid off. You get laid off work. We have an emergency, some other financial emergency, a health emergency or something like that. We do have our preps. We have something to fall back on. We have a net. We have some kind of net to fall back on. I said this in the live last night. There was a time in my life, and with Ms. Dawg and I, we were racked by that Great Recession, and we were at a point to where we were not prepared to handle a $500 emergency, y'all. A $600 automobile repair ripped us out the frame, and we were not prepared to even do that. We had to rely on help from family. We're no longer like that. It took a while, but we have gotten ourselves in a position and prepared and worked hard to where we can mitigate something like that now. So it can happen at any time, regardless of who's the president. So let's work on that. Okay. All right. I'm going to go to a passage. I don't want this to go too terribly long. I'm going into Proverbs, y'all. Going back to Old Testament. Going back to Old Testament on you. Proverbs chapter 11, a couple of verses. Verse 23 says, "The desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath." Verse 25, "The generous man will be prosperous, and he who waters will himself be watered." The generous man will be prosperous. Think about what you can do to help somebody that you help somebody in a way that it doesn't directly come back to benefit you monetarily, or a favor for a favor. Not necessarily. It might later on, but just helping somebody because you want to help somebody, or even if it's a word of advice, encouragement, a prayer, to reach out and do that when you have an opportunity. You're not expecting anything in return. To me, I think that's godly. I think Jesus loves that. I just think he does. And so when we have the opportunity, grab it and do it. It comes back. It comes back to us. It might be a year down the road. It might come back to you the next day in some way. It's going to come back as a blessing. So anyway, share your thoughts. Let's be safe. Let's be aware out there. God bless y'all. See you soon.